passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nurov in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
here as well. 21 laps of action. Just going to be going into qualifying shortly, so we'll keep an eye out and see how these guys get on. But I think it could be a very exciting race, and I think one that could be very interesting to see how they get on. And I think these guys at Spa will be amazing.
Track that can go a couple of different ways depending on how things go. And it can be a boring race, it can be a fun race. The thing that the SF23s give you is the push to pass. And I think that provides a lot more racing action. I think it provides a lot more to it. And for those of you who may not know how that works, you get 200 seconds of push to pass to use through the race. And after you use it, there's a 100-second cooldown. So when you use it, you got to commit with it. And you can use it to pass, but you can also use it to defend. It adds a layer of strategy, James, that I don't think you really see in other series.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the push to pass, isn't it? It's there to aid them and there to help them get the job done. You know, it's like DRS in obviously Formula One. So the light situation will be, if it's solid, it's not being used. If it's flashing green, they're using it. If it's red, it's low, around about 15 seconds and under. Flashing red being based, used on low, and off, it's out altogether. So keep an eye out for the lights and you will be able to see what they're doing in the car. We are into that 10-minute qualifying session at the moment as well. Lone qualifying, going to be really interested to see how these guys get on.
Yeah, and Spa is one of those tracks that, you know, even though you may not see these cars around it in real life, it's a track that every driver needs to have knowledge of, and you need to be able to get up to speed very quickly at Spa and put in a very competitive lap. It's one of those tracks that I kind of cycle it in that, you know, if you run road racing of any kind, Spa is a track that you need to just be able to get in and put a lap down on, regardless of what car you're in. You don't necessarily need to be the fastest, but you need to be very consistent. And whatever your preferred discipline is, you need to be fast. So for these drivers, I'm going to be looking for very, very competitive qualifying as we go through. And we're already almost through the warm-up lap here as we go through. We see drivers that are going through. They're getting some times in. I see some purple sectors coming through. And yes, Spa is divided into 4 sectors on iRacing, not the traditional 3. And we're starting to see drivers come through, get some times in here, get some laps started. So purple sectors just on warm-up laps. It's always a good sign to see here. But if you're not familiar with Spa, we currently have went through La Source. We're going up the hill here to El Rouge, up to Radion, as our wonderful friend Alex would add in the inflection there for Belgium. Now it's down the Kimmel Straight, the long, long run to Le Combe, and then down to Malmedy. And this is going to be where I think we'll see a lot of passes, James, right here into this hard braking zone into Le Combe and Malmedy.
Yeah, I think so as well. You're going to see that. It's going to be obvious, right? The one I watched earlier on with the Super Formula lights, it was the same thing. They were swapping places backwards and forwards on the Kemmel Straight. It's whether or not they're going to plan on leaving their overtakes to the last lap. It's a dangerous game. It's always very hit and miss to see what happens. They might have a bad exit. They might not make it through. There's a lot of variables that goes on in making that maneuver. And I think overall these drivers are going to have to sit back and really wonder how they're going to get on here. Are they going to run it and leave it till the last lap to make their overtakes? Or are they going to get them done and see if they can defend going on to the last lap? 2 different strategies, 2 very complicated strategies, and 2 that I'll be interested to see how they came up.
I wouldn't think that they would be holding them to the end, but then again, I am not the driver, so I tend to be wrong in that regard. So don't ever quote me on what I say the strategy is. That is the reason I'm up in the commentator's booth, because I never claim to be right. We go through the final bus stop chicane here. We're coming around, and this is going to be first lap in. That start line comes at you very quick. 153 here for Mr. Manuel Vargas. And that's going to be a solid P5. Everybody's pretty competitive with their lap times here within a couple of seconds. And if you consider the length of this spa lap. You're running almost a 2-minute lap, and everybody's within just a couple of seconds of each other for the 11 drivers we've had put in a lap. It's a pretty competitive lap here, as we have Brzezowski, who is now running down the hill here through Brussels, down into No Name, or Speaker's Corner, depends on how you know it, and we'll see what comes out. Purple first sector of 4.
Yeah, it's No Name all day. Dude, it's No Name all day. Just like this corner's put on. And not the double goosh, which basically means double left-hander. It's been put on for years, and there's a very big mix of what the track names at Spa are, because, let's all face it, Fagné, Curve Paul Ferrer is the double right-hander here, Blanchimont is the whole entire back straight. Well, in fact, now what it is this is Curve Paul Ferrer going along here, and this left-hander is Blanchimont. So, Spa needs to keep with one track name configuration, I think, because at the moment, they're all very different. So, there we go. And we know this as the bus stop. Nowadays, it's just known as a chicane.
Yeah, no, this is bus stop through and through, because it's the only thing I've ever known it as, and that's what I will call it from now on and until the end of time. So I agree with you on that in all day, James. Spa is a track that is frustrating in that regard, not because it's frustrating for the length of the lap, or it's frustrating because of some of the challenges that come with this track. It is just frustrating that everyone calls it different corner names depending on how they go. But at least we don't have 13 A, B, and C like we do with half of the American road courses for some reason.
Yeah, like VIR earlier on, 7A, 7B, 7C, 8A, B, D. Oh, jeez, it was like I was reciting the alphabet earlier on when I was trying to go through the names of the circuits. It was pretty crazy, to be honest, on that one. You can see Carson Keane sitting in 6th place at the moment, and Carson, really interested to see how he gets on today and whether or not he's able to make it round No Name. He goes on that run down into Bourne before they go into La Fagné, the right-left at the end of this straight, but he's going to enter in Pouin first. Greens across the board, so improvements for him here, Brad, as well. A lot of people in the 153s. It could be very interesting to see how these guys do.
This is going to be a very, very close race. And the one thing that I'm taking away from qualifying, and I'm watching through, Jeff Groff is currently purple first sector, purple second sector, coming through third sector now and seems to be on a very, very good lap. So the big thing I'm taking through is that this is going to be a competitive field. I don't think anyone's going to really get the runaway over someone else. No. Now, again, saying that, anything's possible, but just based on qualifying times, it looks like it's going to be a very, very close grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Brzezowski's got a couple of purples and greens in. Carson Keane's got all greens on his line. So we're going to see how his improvement runs as well. Jeff Groff is coming over the line exactly the same time. Then we've got Gabriel Hopp, who's just gone and put himself in second. He's made an improvement on a 152. 893. 3 people jumping into the 152s. Groff, Hopp, and Brzezowski. So we're going to see if there's going to be a free car breakaway of how close is everybody else going to be involved with it. We've got last week's winner, Pablo Valenzuela, down in 12th at the moment. So he's got some work to do as well.
Notice that Hopp and Groff are separated by 1/1000th of a second. That is huge for second and third place. And Groff's gone and went purple sector 1 again here. Valenzuela coming off of that win last week here, but again, not looking in form. 154.4, so over almost 2 seconds off of the pace of Brzezowski up in the front. And again, with the length of the Spa lap, 2 seconds isn't near as much as it sounds. And when you get into race trim, race pace, it could prove to be not the end of the world here. And Pablo comes across the line here, and we'll see jumps up P8, 153.6. So finding a bit of time here, and we'll see what comes out for there. Jeff Groff again, purple sector 1, purple sector 2, purple sector 3. Is going to bring it around Blanchimont, and we'll see where Jeff Groff goes. If Jeff Groff has a little bit more in the tank here and can get this final sector nailed in, we might have Jeff Groff on pole at the very, very end.
Yep. He's going to nail pole position. It's going to be a 152.5. Easily on that one. 3 purples across the board. It stayed to the left-hand side or the right-hand side, depending on which way you're looking at it. And what's it going to be from Jeff Groff? 152.8. No, Hop did a 152.7. Groff on a 152.8. I'm shocked.
Lost it in the final sector.
But he
and
lost a lot, bro. He didn't just lose a bit. He lost a lot of time. That's great.
That's how challenging that bus stop can be, though. It can be very, very tough to nail that bus stop right. But we'll bring you up the grid here, and it is going to be Gabriel Hop there in first place with Frankie Brzezowski in second. Jeff Groff in third place after, man, should have been a stunning lap. Missed it on the bus stop. Carson Keene, fourth place. Christian Jasper, P5. Chris Sears in sixth. Manuel Animal Vargas in P7. Pablo Valenzuela in P8. Brian Long in P9. Victor Chamorro in P10. Joshua Benjamin, P11. Anthony Zich in P12. And then from there, we're going P13. William Love. Samuel Mon, 14th. Bronson Stafford in P15. Bryce Benton in 16. And Matthew Rodriguez will round out your 17 car grid here for the 21 laps of Spa.
Yeah, it should be an exciting one. 152, probably 153 in race trim. Hold on to your hats for the next 40 minutes. It's going to be done and dusted within that period of time. And be interested to see if Gabriel Hop can hold on to the start, because I know we had we had a 58 car grid earlier on with one of the series in the Super Formula lights, and we lost 21 drivers over the race.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to lose 21 drivers through this. I hope not. But of course, if anything does come up, drivers do have one fast repair in their pocket to go through. But Hop is on that pole position, waiting for Barney there on the right-hand side to wave that green flag and get us going here, and nailing the start, nailing turn 1 down in the La Source, and then running up the hill through Eau Rouge and Radion. That's going to be really, really important to nail here for Hop in pole position. Brzezowski is going to be doing a lot to try to get past early on. The lights are underway, and it's going to be 5 red lights. And we are going to be underway here for 21 laps in sim racing for simpletons. And we are going. It's a very, very good start there for Hop. Back to the background. Who is that diving up the inside? Somebody going for something cheeky. Brzezowski there going through. 3 wide through La Source. Everybody holding on. And it looks like we are going to get 17 cars away. Nice and clean here. Up the run towards the hill for the first time. Up Eau Rouge and Radion. And who is in the lead? Well, it's none other than Gabriel Hop by a good half a second. Before they hit the Kimmel Straight, they go through single file to start, and you got to watch out here. What do you do early on? How do you defend? What do you do? And it looks like right now for Hop, it's settle into the racing line, nail it through Lecombe, and go through as hard as you can. Side by side, go Keen and Groff. They are in the battle for P3, and there's a little bit of contact around.
Yeah. Do you know the problem with that? Than a single bit of contact.
Yeah, that's what we call the healthiest dose of netcode you could possibly get.
Yeah, still a foot between them. Unfortunate there for both people. Front nose cone gone off Carson Keene, off Jeff Groff, sorry. Carson Keene straight back into the pits there as well. Couldn't even drive the car back for Carson Keene, but that was a big old healthy dose of the wonderful internet bugs that we have with Crispin Jasper sitting in at third. He's got Chris Sears up behind him, Vargas up behind that in fifth, Pablo Valenzuela sixth, Victor Chamorro seventh, Joshua Benjamin in 8th, up 3 places. Brian Long in where he is, and Brzezowski and Gabriel Hop also not changing positions. But you can see here as well, Brad, there's a lot of people on the push to pass early, and they're trying to get it done. But yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for them.
Yeah, and it's that push to pass is going to play dividends here later in the race. I don't know how much they'll use it early on, maybe a little bit here and there. It just depends. And as we're getting these first laps in, top 5 all have over a second gap. But this right here, P6 through, this is really where the big battles are going to start. And Is anyone going to be looking for anything? You see the hard blinking there from the number 69. That is going to be Victor Chamorro, and that flashing green means he is using that push to pass as we go up the hill. Can he get anything through? He cannot. We're riding through, and Kimmel straight. Watch the swerving. Not too much swerving, but maybe a little, trying to break the draft. And now hard on the brakes we go into Lacombe as they run through. Side by side, Jeff Groff all the way down into 12th place. There's a spin from Stafford. Stafford just losing the traction on his own.
Yeah, completely lost it on his own there, to Stafford. Unfortunately, he just went in far too hard, hit the brakes, dragged the brakes on the way in, and around he went. William Love there as well. It's an interesting thing with the push to pass. Once they've used it, they can only use it once a lap, right? And once they've turned it off, and the cooldown will take a full lap to recharge, ready for them to use it again. So they can't use it twice in a lap. It's a one-time deal, and then they've got to look at waiting a whole lap before they can use it again. So it's not just kind of on and off, on and off, on and off. It's once you use it for that lap, you can't use it again.
I feel like a lot of these drivers are probably saving it for the run out of La Source up the hill, honestly, or down the Kimmel Straight. I feel like that's the most advantageous place to use it, or right here running down into the bus stop as we hop on board with Chris Sears. Chris Sears with a good run through and out and good pass through the bus stop and settles up into third place now. 155 for Hop on the first true flying lap. Brzezowski 155.0, 155.0s, so top three very similar in pace, and 156.4 from Jasper there in fourth place. Christian Jasper now on the attack, trying to chase down Sears and continue on. What sort of pace up the hill we go? And slowly gaining. Gonna look for a pass. 180 miles an hour, pegged to the limiter here in sixth gear. 185 in the slipstream, ducks out, loses a little pace.
Yeah, too early. He pulled out way too early there.
Yep.
He wasn't close enough to the rear end to get a full overshot. He pulled out early from Christian Jasper, so I don't know if Jasper there might have chosen to do that, or it was basically the fact that he tried something that wasn't going to work. He needs to be full up behind him here. Rodriguez is having a good old ding-dong with Bryce Benton further down as well, spitting up a load of dust that's been spread on the circuit. You can see it there coming off their tyres, spraying up into the face of somebody in the wall. That's Vargas in the wall, and I've got this funny feeling here, Brad, that probably onto the gravel. Does he boink his... just doinks his front nose cone off for Vargas there as well. But Rodrigo is having a great little ding-dong down here with Mr. Bryce Benton.
Yeah, and this is the battle for P12 here. Benton there.
God, don't do that.
Ooh, that was a...
Get him now.
Yep. Clean around the inside. Good pass through. And now just keep it going. And here's the thing, though. Benton's going to fight back going into the bus stop. If he's close enough, if he can hold on to it, when we go dive into the bus stop, be a little late on the brakes, and you can nail this one really well. You see, that's kind of what he's looking to do.
Yeah, too far back. I think the lift of what he should have done was basically ran at full speed down through Blanchimont and then waited to see if Rodriguez was going to get him. Lifting and letting him through was going to cause more problems for him, and one of them was just the fact that he had no pace, and that's the problem with it. He got back up. Jasper and Sears are side by side currently. Sears is now going to slot back in behind Jasper. You can see Jasper's on the push to pass. Sears is not. Big difference on speed on that one, and I think at the end of the day, Sears is just going to have to stay where he is for now and chase down Jasper as much as possible as they come down into what it was Rivage, is now Bruxelles apparently, as they go through here with No Name on the left hand side.
Yeah, coming through No Name, and again we go back to the different corner names depending on who you ask. Going through here, and I think for Sears, knowing that Jasper has used that push to pass, you just settle in behind, hold on to it for the moment, and you just relax, stay through, follow through this middle part of the lap, and then once you hit Blanchimont, just dump the throttle and go. Maybe hold on to that push to pass a little bit further, depending on where he's used it last, and just go with it and see what you can pull out of the hat, because there's going to be something somewhere that you can pull out of the hat. Chris Sears here, we hop on board right along and just too far back.
Yeah, it's not on the push to pass either. It normally flashes up on the steering wheel. Overtake on. It is not on for Chris Sears. He clearly feels he's going to save it on this one. He did get a massive overspeed coming into the bus stop. Is he going to be able to get the run out? That's going to be the thing with that one, is he went right, went left, couldn't really hook it up. What we want to do is basically stay on board until what time he goes down Camel and El Rouge and Radion and see what that steering wheel does. If the steering wheel lights up, you know he's all over the push to pass.
And there it is, overtake on. Time left 170 seconds. He's on it, he's holding it, and now we're going to go up the hill while he's got that overtake on. How long is he going to keep it on here? He's got the overspeed, he's looking for the run, he's going to dive to the left. Side by side we go down the Kibble Straight. And who comes out ahead? Well, it is Sears, just a little bit here to Jasper, and now he's going to set middle of the track. He's going to play hard defensive and just hit the curbs perfectly. Very, very good block there. We jump back with Christian Jasper here, who is just trying to look for something, look for a move, but now he knows he's gotten past, and now it's just follow behind. But right behind him is Pablo Valenzuela, who is going to just be following just behind, just looking around, and we've got a good old scrap for third place that's opened up, because there's two more cars behind them that are right in the mix.
Yeah, Benjamin's closing in. Chamora's in this as well. This could be a nice little 4-car train. That's going to be an off track for Jasper. He's going to have to be a little bit careful about that. Coming into the right-hander, hard on the brakes now. Into Fanier they go. Round to the right, round to the left, and coming in once more into Campus. The right-hander is going to let it open up, run out on the curb just a little bit. There you go, into Stablo, and now it's a straight run down through Blanchimont. Is Valenzuela going to use his push to pass this time? He's not. He's going to be another man that looks like he's going to be holding on to it, Brad, until they get up through El Rouge and Radion.
Yeah, and that kind of doesn't surprise me that they're holding on to it to go up the hill, give them a bit of speed into the Kimmel Straight. It really does not surprise me here as we go through. A bit feisty is Pablo Valenzuela as he's trying to look for a pass here. He's going to have to defend really hard against that number 69 of Victor Chamorro, and he does just that. We settle in, and now we get back to run Valenzuela, losing a bit of time through the bus stop there on Jasper as we go down into turn one. Bit wide goes Chamorro as we go through, and now it's going to be down the hill. Look at the green lights blinking on Jasper. I don't see it, and there it is on Chamorro though, and didn't see it on Valenzuela, and we'll see if he's going to use it on the top of the hill. I'm not sure, but look at the overspeed here from Chamorro, and no, Valenzuela's holding on to it.
Yeah, he is. He's keeping hold of it at the moment now, and he's just been literally left behind by Chamorro. Chamorro's just gone straight over Valenzuela. Job done for him. Joshua Benjamin is now tucked in right behind in that green and white machine. Looks absolutely gorgeous. And Crispin Jasper's opened up a 1.5 second gap to the three behind because they were fighting as well. Anthony Zitch here is chasing down Brian Long in the same, and they're chasing on to the back of the Valenzuela battle. So there could be a lot of action taking place at the moment here as well. Brian Long did have a little bit of a moment in that car that's coming down into the bus stop. Was he just exceptionally slow, or did he actually make a mistake? He made a mistake. That back end's coming around there, Mr. Long. I'm sorry to tell you. And he did lose that position over Anthony Zitch and then gets it back again going up through El Rouge and Radion. So nice little battles materializing here on this racetrack as well. And 6 down, 15 to go.
Yeah, we're approaching a third race distance here, and no sign of any of these battles stopping as we run down through towards the bus stop yet again here, and Sears just getting the defensive and nailing his lines as we continue through, and he's just doing what he's got to do. He's just hitting every apex, every mark, and just consistently running laps and trying to make sure that he holds people up behind. Behind, though, look at Valenzuela and Chamorro having a moment there with Benjamin now in the mix as well. 3 cars just magically nose to tail out of nowhere. They came through the bus stop, and the bus stop seemed to be the great equalizer. Now it's going to be up the hill here. The number 23 looking for a move, not able to make it, and now we just follow up the hill. Very, very slow as Chamorro up the hill. Valenzuela is going to be looking up the inside down the Kimmel Straight, wanting to set up for the run into Lacombe and not able to go through. Slipstream from Benjamin in the background. Benjamin said, you know what, I'll take the inside if you won't, and says, thank you very much, I'll take P6.
Yeah, that was, I cannot believe how wide Chamorro had left that door open. Literally, he was just inviting them in. Not one person, even, well, for Venezuela, didn't even think about making the move, which I don't understand. The door was wide open. He wasn't on the push to pass. I don't know if he hasn't got a button or something was wrong with Chamorro, with Venezuela on that one, but he didn't use it. So Benjamin just said, well, I'm not being rude here, bud, but if you're going to sit here all day with him, I'm going to go round you because that's your fault. Look at the gap. Look at the space he had. And, yeah, that was a little bit sloppy, I think, from last week's winner.
I don't even think it's a case of he left the door open. I don't even think he built a door to the wall. I think that's literally a case of there should have been a door there, and he just forgot to put it up. That was the most opportune passing moment that you could have had, and to not take that, it's an interesting decision. I'd be curious to know the logic behind it here as we run down into the bus stop yet again here. And I think Benjamin's going to have something for Chamorro this time as we run through our leaders running through 154.6 for Brzezowski, going around just slightly slower than Hop as they run through. So that lead battle might start to close a little bit as we go through. We're nearing half race distance and we're running through, and this time what's Benjamin got for Chamorro here in the battle for P5? Well, he's right on the back of him, slipstream through up the hill, through Erouge, through Radion, and now down the Kimmel Straight. What's he got in terms of slipstream? There's the push to pass from both of them. He's going to try to find something. He's got a little bit more speed there, and he's going to get this pass done. No, maybe a little too early here.
Gotta be brave.
We'll see. Who defend it?
Yeah, he had to be brave there for Benjamin. Now he's got to park it on the exit of Marmaduke on that run down into the Ravage. The right-hander, downhill braking, of course. You've got it again. He's looking. The thing I don't get, and I see this quite a lot, and I think drivers really need to look at clearing this situation up. If you're going to go offline and you're going to feint to make the pass, if you're not making the pass, get the car back online. Because I don't understand what Chamorro did, where he come offline at Ravage and then never come back on it. So it slowed his entry into Ravage, which then jeopardised his exit, which then cost him on the run down into No Name. It seems a very crazy thing to do. You know, I don't untie my shoelaces and not actually put my shoes on. It's a bit ridiculous. So if you're going to feint to make a pass, either go and try and make the pass, or get that car back online again, because that seems to be the easiest thing. And did Benjamin's tyres just all fold up then, or did my eyes just deceive me?
No, your eyes did not deceive you, because I saw the same thing. I think that's a little bit of a connection moment coming in for the both of us more than anything there. A very good defense from Benjamin there to defend the apex against Chamorro into the bus stop. I think some of it, James, just kind of speaking from experience, some of it comes down to a little bit of indecisiveness sometimes for the drivers, where they get in this position where they're like, they overthink the driving, and it becomes a case of, well, do I have time for the pass? Do I not? Should I pass him now? Should I wait until this corner? What if I do this? Well, I could do this. And they overthink the moment, and they don't just do this right here and commit to it. Like we see Chamorro committing here. There's the pass. There's the clearing himself. And now we see Valenzuela, who is the one on the inside, and again, just staying off the racing line, compromising that entrance into Lacombe. And you can't do that. You've got to just, in the line, make the pass. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I don't fully understand what Venezuela's up to, or what the situation is for him on this one. I think there could be a little bit of cat and mouse being played from Venezuela. You can see Chamorro has now pulled away from Benjamin, so we'll see how he gets on. Jeff Groff is recovering. He's down the back end, chasing down Samuel Marr at the moment for Jeff, so he's got a lot of how can I put it? A lot of real estate to cover, should we say, before we get up into a group that's actually, you know, where he needs to be. He's down 8 places, of course.
Yeah, and you got to commit commend Jeff Groff for continuing to run through, putting a lot of good pace in, and being very smooth and consistent in his lap times that I've seen. He's still a little off the pace to the leaders, but he is trying to gain time and move back forward. Jeff just being smooth and consistent lap after lap, trying to run through. You know, sometimes you have those moments in those races where things just kind of go and it's a recovery drive. And unfortunately for Jeff Groff, that is exactly what this has turned into as we head towards the bus stop yet again.
Yeah, he's going to be hard on the brakes through the right-hander, through the left-hander. Chamorro on a 1:54.19. Fastest lap of the race this time along round. Brian Long is in here with Benjamin, with Venezuela. I'm not quite sure that's a good idea. In fact, I can tell you now there's probably a scarily bad idea. Somehow they made it work. But for Brian Long, that was very, very lucky indeed. And now he's going to get Venezuela by the end of it as well, is Long. He's going to be big and brave on the brakes. He's going to pick him up, stick him in his pocket. Demand the inside. Almost demanded the inside, but saw him nothing. But a little bit of an exhaust off Venezuela there, because there was just no inside to have. And however, Benjamin has taken the opportunity and he sees that inside line, but that's going to give him the outside for Pouron, which is very difficult to carry speed from the outside far out.
Yeah, Benjamin said, you know what, I've got a moment I can try to make the move, dive in. Didn't work out, but he made the effort, tried to send it through, and side by side up the hill. I cannot believe they decided to do that, and I can't believe it worked out. That's the two part of that is, why would you do that? And thankfully it worked. So as we see these guys, you can tell they're starting to get a little feisty here. We're getting to the mid-race point, and it's interesting to me. This is usually where the drivers kind of hit their lull, hit their stride, and they're just kind of trying to tick laps off and just go, you know, lap 11 done, lap 12 done. These guys are really, really pushing for position here as it sits. They're really pushing to get that P6 and get ahead of Valenzuela, and then they want to head after Chamorro if they can. Chamorro has pulled out a 2-second gap, though, to this 3-car battle as he continues to run through. Leaders are crossing the line now, and Brzezowski setting a personal best, 1:54.2. He's closing the gap slowly but surely to hop. Gap 1.2 seconds as they cross the line that last time. It'll continue to fluctuate here and there, but I do think Brzezowski is going to start to get through. And there's Jasper with Sears going side by side out of La Source. Yeah, that's a huge ass through, especially 11 laps, pulling out 7 seconds, and that's going to continue to open up as this race goes, so it does not surprise me to see that here. Christian Jasper, we ride on board, watching Sears behind, and have you noticed that down through Rivage, everyone has been locking up their right front with that downhill braking? Every driver I feel like we've watched has locked up their right front through that corner.
Yeah, it's just one of them. It's a downhill braking corner, isn't it? That's the problem. So as soon as you brake, all your load's going to go on the front end. The problem is, it's where it's cambered as well. Your right front's going to take a lot more of it. So that's where the lockup is on that one. They've got to be a little bit smoother if they can make it work. If they're not smooth enough, that's the problem they're going to have. But it's something that they are going to have to work on throughout this race, and to make sure that they can get it right. You know, they've been saying throughout the race, they've only got 9 laps to do it, mind you, and it's coming thick and fast on that. It looks like Matthew Rodriguez is having a little bit of a nightmare further back as well. We won't compound that young man's misery, but it looks like he's had about 3 incidents in a row and ended up jumping back to the pit. So let's see how Sears gets on with Jasper one more.
Yeah, coming up the hill here, down the Kemmel straight, looking through in the slipstream, dives to the left-hand side. This will put him on the outside here, down into the Lecombe chicane. We go through, and no answer. Parks it on the apex, does Jasper. And you can see very slow through there, actually, as we head down towards Rivage, and we head through, and yeah, just clean defensive driving there, locking up the right front is Christian Jasper as we go around, and we come down into No Name yet again, send it through, and that's how you defend at the end of the Kimmel Straight, right on the apex.
What was the
no
difference?
better way to do it.
What was the difference between Sears and Jasper?
I don't know, you tell me.
Sears didn't have his push to pass on. So when he pulled out, basically Jasper had his push to pass on, Sears did not. So Jasper used his more in a defensive manner rather than in the attacking manner that it was there for. So he used the button, even though he wasn't due to be overtaking somebody, he used it in a defensive way. Sears wasn't on his at all. So therefore, as soon as Sears pulled out, all he hit was air. And once he hit air, there was just a brick wall there, especially with the fact of Jasper on the PTP going forward with it. So for Sears, that probably was the prime opportunity to maybe try and use that push to pass as well, because Jasper used it as a defense and he got away with it. So great job from Jasper, really.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to me. If you're in the slipstream down the Kimmel Straight and you go to pull out,
Yeah.
That was almost a big moment. And now this 2-car battle's into a 3-car battle, because look at Chamorro right there in the mix as we go through. But if you watch any of these drivers when they're not using push to pass and they pull out from the slipstream behind down the Kimmel Straight, and here we go, both drivers push to pass on. Sears, Jasper, they're going to learn from this. Sears is going to pull out into that wall of air, lose that pace that he had from the slipstream, but try to use the push to pass to take advantage, and he's not able to. Jasper parks the middle of the road, and now Chamorro's right in the mix. He's not able to get past, because when you pull out into that wall of air, you can lose like 10 miles an hour of speed. It is literally like hitting a brick wall, but it's air. And now we go down the hill here, head towards No Name, and it's just these 3 through. I do want to mention Hop set the fastest lap of the race 2 laps ago in response to Brzezowski catching him. The gap was down to just over a second. Gap now currently sets over 2 seconds as they go.
Yeah, Brian Long currently fastest lap of the race, 153.678 for him, 153.918 for Hop. So Hop's lap did get done not long after setting it on that one, and Chamorro's got to go again. But you've got to look at how Jasper is defending this. He's doing it in a way into Lacombe. Not only was he using his push to pass to defend from them, he sent it in very deep, as we can see. Chamorro going past Chris Sears. Sears is going to demand the inside. You've got to give him room. A slight little bit of a bang on the wheels. Chamorro gets it all wrong. Here comes Long now. Long's going to try and grab that place away. He's going to use his push to pass a little bit. Use it at the end of the lap. It resets. He's used it right at the beginning. So unless he's still on it, he's not going to get it coming down. And he is still on it coming out of the source as well. Brian Long using that push to pass down the front straight, down the back straight as well, and up through El Rouge and up in through El Rouge and Radion, and he's still on it. So Brian Long using quite a lot this time around, and he's going to gain 2 places in the process.
Yeah, and remember, you only get 200 seconds of push to pass for the entire race. So I'm curious to know how much he has left as they go through, because we're 2/3 of the way through with this race. So if you've been using a lot of push to pass like that, it's going to start to become a problem near the end, and you're going to have to play strategy a little bit and be very conservative with what you use when. Because again, remember, you only get it 1 time per lap. Once you use it, it has the cooldown, and you only get so many seconds a race. So they've got to be thinking of that. But obviously, Brian Long decided in that moment it was better just to go ahead, dump it, get the positions, get up into P4, and say, you know what, I'll worry about the rest later.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff Groff's car is right. And the reason I say that is this is a man that qualified in 3rd place in the 150, I think it was 153, early 153s, late 52s. His best lap time throughout this race at the moment is a 154.97. There is no way he is not carrying damage. He's too quick to be where he is, but he is carrying severe damage, is Groff, and unfortunately he's losing out here. Topping north for 180, but he's just not, doesn't look on it at the back end of this field here for Mr. Groff. So interested to see what he's going to be getting himself up to throughout the rest of the race, but he's back into this battle again once more.
Yeah, once more we go up the hill towards El Rouge and Radion yet again, and you see that number 18 of Chris Sears, the blinking green light. He's on that push to pass, that extra boost of power, and now we see it on for Long at the top of the hill. He waited all the way up the hill to use it, slipstream through, and defending the inside is going to go Brian Long, and to the outside will go the number 18 there of Sears. He gets the pass done. So Brian Long trying to be smart and conservative with that push to pass, being a little conservative and only losing one position. Chamorro back in the background there in the red car, 0.4 of a second back. And they're just, it's a cat and mouse game right now. Lap 15 of 21, 6 laps to go. There's a little bit of cat and mouse with this P4, 5, 6, 7 battle that's going on.
There's a battle down here, and these guys have swapped places twice already. Groff got Maher. Right, and then Mars, is he going to slot in behind him, or is he just going to dive him into Lacombe? He didn't. Groff got it all wrong, and that is how Samuel Maher went back round the outside of him through Marmody and down in to Ravage there as well. So that's how they ended up swapping backwards and forwards. Chris Sears, however, is still leading the pack with Brian Long and Victor Chamorro.
Yeah, Groff is carrying some sort of significant damage because he's not able to break the same as the other cars or anything. So some sort of significant damage he's picked up that, unfortunately for Groff, is going to make Spa a little bit of a write-off for him here. Sears, very good run through the bus stop, and Long there just behind trying to hold on. Chamorro's there, Valenzuela is there, and they are slowly catching up to Jasper, slowly but surely, as we run through gap 1.4 seconds, and it is slightly climbing here. It will start to come back down, though, as they run up the hill, and as we see Jasper hit that little bit of a air wall, as we're calling it. On the push to pass we go here with Sears. He's going to run through. Long not on the push to pass, but is in the slipstream. You see he's swerving a little bit to break the slipstream. One move over, one move back. Nice and tidy there. No swerving back and forth, anything crazy like you're trying to warm up the tires. And now we just run down and, again, continue on. I think we've hit this point where guys are going to start to save for a lap or two, do what they can, and then they're going to make a big charge in the final 2 or 3 laps.
No, they've only got, well, we're on lap 16. We've only got 5 more technically, or 4.5 more to go, depending on whichever way you want to do your maths on that one. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to do as well, because, as you say, do they wait? Do they not? Do they push forward? Do they not? What do they do? That's going to be the question here as well. And, well, it's going to be an interesting final few laps.
It is. It's going to be real interesting. I think the fireworks are yet to go off here as we run through the end stages of this race. Chris Sears, again, just holding on to this 4th place as we run down towards the bus stop, and we have Long there just behind in 5th place. He's going to get a little bit closer, is Brian Long, but again, just not close enough. Very clean run through the bus stop needed for all of these cars to hold their places, and probably the cleanest bus stop we've seen all race as they go through gap 1.2 seconds now to Christian Jasper as they head down into La Source, and they're going to come around, and now again it's the run up to Rouge and Radion. You pick your mark, you get behind, see if you can find something through. Early on the push to pass is Chamorro and Valenzuela back behind. Up the hill we go. And when do these guys decide to get on the push to pass? Neither of them are. They're going to go side by side down the Kimmel Straight. Here we go. Who is going to come out ahead? Side by side they stay. On the push to pass is going to be Sears there. And as we go around, sorry, no, it was Long. And Sears gives up the position as Brian Long gets on that push to pass.
Yeah.
Big wreck in the background.
That was Chamorro.
What has happened to... he got helped is what happened.
Yeah. That was Pablo Valenzuela, I think.
Did he try to park it in the apex and just...
got it all wrong?
Not get that right? Yeah, it's like he was slow through And then Valenzuela just wasn't expecting him to be that slow and just drove through him.
Yeah, let's see if we can catch. No, this is too far back, I think. I want to kind of go, yeah, I'm trying to go here and look at the run out. You can see this is where Valenzuela's right in behind him. And obviously we were focusing on Sears and Long. Sears swapping back there. Now you can see Chamorro's got in what looks like a little bit too hot. He's now got to try and slow it down and park it. And unfortunately, that was the end result. He's not the first one that's got in too deep on there. There's been a couple of people that I've seen today at Spa in the last Super Formula Lights that have done the same thing. And I think it's really dangerous to do that because you end up with that situation, you know, of them going up right up behind you and in the back end of you. And it's a tough one, but that's racing, and how they were going to look at it, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they determine from that.
I kind of think that one goes on Chamorro, honestly, looking at it, because he drove off the racing line. Valenzuela was on the racing line, and I think that's more of a racing incident than anything. I don't know, though. I'm not a steward. We'll see how they come out of it here. Lap 18 of 21, 3 laps to go as we go to finish this race. We're looking at the battle for P9 with Love, Ma, and Groff running through. And we've talked about Groff and some of the struggles that Groff has had. You see that slow blinking light there on top. He does not have push to pass. And now Love will go through, or Ma will go through with Love just behind William Love in the Williams livery, going through and around and looking for a good passing moment. Not able to find it here as we head down the hill towards No Name, and we'll settle it in Ma, Groff, and Love, with Stafford 3 seconds behind.
Yeah. This is one of the closest battles. You can see Groff there as well since his earlier incident. I just don't think he's got something, somewhere, damage on something. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but he's just not quite got it in and around here with Jeff Groff, Samuel Marr. He's having a right little ding-dong down here, mind you, and he's probably loving his racing, but I'm sure he'd be rather doing this up the front.
Yeah, I think if Groff hadn't have had, you know, the rough day that he's had, I think Groff could definitely be battling up front. And speaking of up front, Hop, 3.4 seconds, looking through last lap times, continuing to be consistently faster than Frankie Brzezowski going through in the front. They run through back behind there. You've got Ma and Love going side by side. For a millisecond there, I thought they were going to go side by side into the bus stop, but they don't. We continue along here, and it is going to be Samuel Ma there in 10th place with William Love in 11th. I think Jeff Groff is really driving above the ability of this car here as it stands 2 laps to go here, James. And it looks like Jasper under pressure by Brian Long up in P3.
Yeah. See Jasper and Long there. They have to swap places. Sears is in the mix as well. He's trying to have a go. Didn't quite make it through on that one. I'm wondering what happened to Jasper on that last lap, though, because he lost quite a lot of time last time out. 54.41 for him, 53.6 for Sears, 53.46 for Valenzuela. So Valenzuela slowly starting to close back onto these guys again, but at the moment it's all about Brian Long taking that podium with Brzezowski in second place, Gabriel Hop in first, out in front by a country mile and enjoying himself 100% on. There is Hop taking the lead, led since the green, not look back, and he ain't got many more laps to lead and go through the check-in.
Yeah, and he is actually approaching the bus stop here. He'll be starting lap 20 of 21, 2 to go. And for those of you noticing the blinking red light on the top there of Jasper's car, that means they are low on push to pass left to use here in the race. And so if you see it start fast blinking, but it's red, they're using what could possibly be the last little bit of push to pass they have remaining. So again, this is where strategy is going to come in. And this is where you got to be careful here as they cross the line. 2 to go here. Lap 20 of 21 starting. Jasper definitely going to be feeling the pressure through these final 2 laps here. And Chris Sears can probably smell the opportunity for a P4 finish, possibly a P3, depending on what Brian Long can do here. We run up the hill towards Rouge. Radion, yet again, down the Kimmel Straight will go one more time. How do you defend this one if you're long? Well, Jasper's going to try to just look for a pass. They're going to squeeze side by side. They go through. Neither of them are using push to pass, and no push to pass from Sears either as they go through, but it is going to be Jasper ahead of Long. Sears will hold out again in that P5 position, not able to take advantage of any passes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really difficult when they're all in and around doing the same amount of times. You know, when somebody isn't around you doing the same lap time, you're not gaining, you're not losing, but you're not going anywhere either. You know, there's a lot of other things that's got to be involved here, and Jasper's literally short on PTP. He's literally got this lap and one more to try and hold on, and he has not got a lot left. Where Brian Long, on the other hand, and Chris Sears, seems like they've got it for days. So for Jasper, it's going to be very, very difficult to hold on here, and it might be even harder for him to hold on to 5th place, depending if Sears can get through on him as well.
Yeah, this is going to be the big moments here of this race, and told you the fireworks wouldn't happen until very close to the end. Sears coming through very, very quick on the push to pass now. Actually here going through, trying to find a pass around Long, is going to get blocked by Long. Long's going to go very defensive here into the bus stop, up around the outside, trying to get a pass on Jasper. Jasper using the middle of the road there through the bus stop, blocking still on the push to pass is Sears as we go through. Now it's blinking red. That means he's low on that push to pass, trying to go around the outside using every bit of the battery that's left. Hard on the brakes, is going to go Long through the middle, Jasper on the inside, and all of a sudden we've got 4 drivers fighting for P3 here, and one of them is about to run completely out of push to pass. Another one just got on push to pass, and the one at the front is going to use push to pass. Up the hill goes Jasper. Here we go. This is 3 cars battling down the Kimmel Straight. We go side by side. They go. Here we go. Long is going to go around through the middle, is going to try to go Sears, and Valenzuela in the background just wants to be there for company. We're going to be side by side. We go wheel tap, a little loose through. They're going to hold it side by side yet again. Here we go, Jasper and Long, and now Sears is going to snake his way through. Can he be hard on the brakes up the inside? No, he cannot as we go through, but he's still trying to get the pass done, and Valenzuela is just smelling a possible P3 if these guys don't figure it out quickly.
Yeah, it is. Venezuela sitting there quite happily at the moment. Your leader, Gabriel Hopp, coming round in through Campos now before he goes down into Stablo for the final time. These 3 having a right little ding-dong once more and still continue to fight. Brian Long, Jasper, Sears and Venezuela. Now it's a 4-car fight. There's going to be that run down into Blanchimont.
And that will be the final big opportunity that they have down into Blanchimont, down into the bus stop. And who will take advantage where? Pretty much no push to pass left for any of these guys. So if they're going to do it, it's raw pace alone. But of course, our leader, Gabriel Hopp, we haven't talked about him a lot today, but Gabriel Hopp comes through and is going to win round 3 here at Spa. Brzezowski in 2nd place. Very clean run. And look at this, side by side. Who gets P3? It's hard to tell. Oh, and this is spin in the bus stop through. Can Jasper defend it through? Sears is going to try to get the run, and no front wing. Jasper will get the pass there. Sears, Valenzuela, and Long with the short end of the stick through the bus stop, trying to make the pass here. You see dives through, has the outside, defending the inside, and who? You can't turn where there's a car.
He does. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, he turns in on him. I don't want to go after the boss man himself, of course, but yeah, can't turn in on him, dear sir. He's there, as we would generally say here, he can't just Harry Potter himself and evaporate up the chimney for you, Mr. Long. You've got to give him time and space, and unfortunately, you didn't give him either. So tough there for these guys. I'm not sure what Matthew Rodriguez is doing and how he's ended up doing that, but we will have a look because that does look quite impressive.
I'm hoping
he's going to come off the curb. There you go.
Bing.
And then folds up the car and then starts heading backwards. So great job. It's still heading backwards, mind you, as well here.
Hey, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it on the very, very final corner of the very, very final lap.
Do it in style, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gabriel Hopp finishing in style, hopping all the way into first place. Frankie Brzezowski in second. Christian Jasper in P3. Chris Sears in fourth. Pablo Valenzuela in fifth. Brian Long, after a painful bus stop, in sixth place. Anthony Zitch in P7. Joshua Benjamin eighth. Jeff Groff having a very off night for Groff in ninth place. William Love in P10. Bronson Stafford P11. Samuel Ma P12. Manuel Animal Vargas in P13. Bryce Benton 14th. Matthew Rodriguez P15. Victor Chamorro will be in 16th place as a DNF, and 17th place was Carson Keene.
Yeah, also DNF there as well. We've got Crispin Jasper waiting in the interview room for you, Brad. I will bring him up, but here is Crispin Jasper for you.
Kristen, P3 finish, very, very competitive there between you, Chris, Pablo, and Brian. Kind of talk me through your race here at Spa.
Oh man, where do I even start? Geez, it's so hard to run away from someone, especially if they're able to just hold on a little bit to your coattails. I mean, you have to be on it the whole way, and if they catch up to you, you have to. Yeah, you got to defend like a lion to at least try to keep it, because it's almost like Indy. You don't want to be in front on the last lap.
It's interesting you say you don't want to be in front on the last lap. Running through, seeing you pull out this P3, especially, when we went into the final lap, I had no idea who was going to be where going through, and going in up the Kimmel Straight, seeing everyone dump the push to pass. What were your thoughts going down the Kimmel Straight on that final lap?
Honestly, a little bit of fear, because I knew I was going to be a sitting duck coming up to the bus stop, because I only had 15 seconds left on that last lap, and I really had to choose when to use it. And I had no idea what to expect. It certainly wasn't being able to keep the position. But it was all about defense at that point, because I knew there were a few critical corners that they were catching me on that I just could not figure out. And that's a skill issue on my part. But I mean, being able to fight back for it and then hold on to it and fight the way we did, it was incredible. I probably would have been disappointed, but I wouldn't be any less pumped after that.
Yeah, it was awesome to see you defend through and go. And I have to ask, after this run through and getting on the podium, what's the goal for the rest of the season? Coming up, we've got big tracks like Silverstone, Sebring, Coda, Interlagos, Misano. What's the plan for the rest of the season? How are we going to follow this one up?
More of the same, hopefully. We got teams going on this time around, so I'm thinking about team points as well. So hopefully we can have Groff up there at the same time, because I mean, pound for pound, he almost outdoes me at every corner, but it's still fun being able to keep up with him and still be able to get those points. So we can usually finish pretty close together. So if I can't win the championship, I at least want to do it for the team. It's going to be difficult. This series is always competitive. It's going to be difficult one way or the other, but I know it's going to be a blast. Hopefully it's going to be more of the same, though. Really hoping it's going to be more of the same.
It's going to be interesting to see. As of right now, your team going into this round was in the lead. We'll see how that flips, of course, because the second place team going through. But Christian, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go for the evening?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to you guys for putting on a great show. I can't wait to watch this one back. Huge thank you to Destino Motorsports and Go Squadra for bringing us on and letting us run their colors. Thank you to Kiba and Infamous for letting me run his colors or their colors as well. And Sunset Arctic for the paint. I wanted to do something a little bit special, and I couldn't think of anything better than a McLaren. So it was really cool being able to do that. And thank you to Brian for putting on the series.
Awesome. And a big shout out to you. Congratulations. And we will see you next week.
Absolutely. Y'all take care.
You too. All right, James. And let's grab our P2 finisher, Frankie Brzezowski. First, am I pronouncing your last name right?
You are.
Awesome. Frankie, talk me through your race, because it was a little bit chaos behind you. I don't know how much you got to keep up with it.
Yeah, I saw Carson on lap 1, like right behind me into turn 1, and then like around turn 4 or 5, I noticed he wasn't there, and there was a pretty big gap back to P3, so I figured something happened, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I will tell you, behind you, it was just like a 5-car absolute boxing match behind. So when you're in the situation you're in, of course, you and your teammate running P1, P2, and you're just ticking out the laps, here at Spa. What do you kind of focus on when you're in that position? Big gap ahead, big gap behind.
Yeah, so we talked about it before the race, because during practice we were both extremely fast, and we just wanted to pull as far a gap as possible, and then around 3 or 4 laps left to go, if we were really close, we agreed that we would be able to fight each other. But it's only the 3rd race of the season, so we wanted to make sure we took home a solid bunch of points, and it doesn't matter anyway, because I think I spent the first 11 or 12 laps less than a second and a half behind Gabriel, so my tires were kind of destroyed at the end.
Yeah, and looking through, you're running the team game 1-2. You all are currently P2 in the team standings. This might put you all into P1 in the team standings, but I don't want to do the math on that, so I'm not going to confirm. Few races left here in the season. What's going to be the goal for the rest of the season? Are we looking for just team points? Are you going for the Drivers' Championship? What are we thinking about?
Oh, no, for sure. I'm going to try to win the rest of the races. I know I have some stronger races coming up. I think Silverstone is next week, and usually I go pretty well around there. I think Misano for me is going to be a struggle. Interlagos will be good. But yeah, we definitely want to win the team championship, and we'll just take it race by race. And obviously, the driver that qualifies better kind of earns the right to get a little breathing room, especially at the start of the race.
Awesome. And Frankie, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go enjoy this P2 here at Spa?
Yeah, definitely. First, my wife for supporting me to join the league, and she really kind of takes care of things while I'm practicing for the weekly races. And then Gabriel, him and I have been doing a lot of work together in the practice sessions, just working on different turns, comparing telemetry, stuff like that.
Awesome. Congratulations on the P2, man. And we will see you next week at Silverstone.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, James. And last but not least, the driver that might have had the most boring day, but somehow the most exciting day at the same time, Gabriel hopping the way up into P1. Talk me through your race.
Oh, no, it wasn't boring at all. I liked having a more calm race. I normally got too anxious. But yeah, no, it was incredible race, incredible result for the team as well. Frankie got 2nd place. I was hoping he wasn't gonna catch me, and yeah, I got some luck there. I could do some laps a little faster, but yeah, he was pretty close.
Awesome. And Gabriel, I have to ask, when you're a driver up there in the lead and there's just really nothing going on behind you, were you aware of some of the chaos happening further back in the field? Did you know that there was like a 5-6 car battle for P3?
Yeah, I was taking a look at that in the relative, but at the same time, I really didn't want to pay attention to it, because last week I completely ended my own race. But yeah, I couldn't keep myself from keeping an eye out from who would get the 3rd place.
It was awesome to watch you have such a just smooth sailing race here today. What's the goal for the rest of the season? Of course, Silverstone next week, and then you've got Sebring, Coda, Misano, and Interlagos. Are we going to see more of the same for the rest of the season, just smooth sailing off to the sunset?
Man, I never raced in Silverstone, but I hope I can do the same results again. It was pretty good being 1st place. I like the feeling, and yeah, the aims for trying to win all the next races. Hopefully, I don't end my race by forgetting to brake or something like that. But yeah.
Awesome. And anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go enjoy your win here tonight?
Yeah. So I want to thank Frankie for giving me it. It didn't happen, but I knew my English kinda slips, but if we were to fight, we are like very very respectful to each other, and yeah, of course I didn't want him to catch me, but yeah. And to my parents as well. My mom was watching, and my dad was here with me being my spotter to say how much time I got to the cars behind and all.
Awesome. And shout out to you for winning the race here at Spa. And we'll see you next week at Silverstone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, James, it's been a fun race. It's been a fun run. Spa with some fireworks here in the hills, in the forest. Any final thoughts before we send this one off into the sunset?
Spa didn't fail to deliver like it. It delivers every single time, and it delivered again here. Great racing.
Absolutely. Great, amazing racing through. And if this is the type of racing you like, if this is the type of fun action you like to see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do all of the fun things here on YouTube to support the JP Broadcasting Network for free. If you want to get involved in SR4S, be sure to check out the description here in YouTube. And big shout out to everybody in YouTube chat here today who's followed along. We've got tons of racing coming up across the next week. And of course, this will be back in 7 days' time at Silverstone. But until then, on behalf of Mr. James Parfitt, my name is Bradley Dalton. We've taken you start to finish. Be sure to join us for the next broadcast where we'll take you start to finish yet again. Good night.